Kamala can't have my guns, she can't have my gasoline engine, and she sure as hell can't have my steaks and cheeseburgers. She is a radical California leftist, and to be honest, she perfectly captures where today's Democrat Party is.
Let's talk about the collective meltdown the Republican Party is undergoing over Kamala Harris.
They used to lie for Joe, and now they're going to lie for her. They're saying she's not DEI, they're saying she's not liberal. They're actually scrubbing their articles where they say all this.
Prepare for Kamala Camelot. Prepare for the mythologized age of the Kennedys, the shining administration on a hill. Prepare for Camelot. Camelot is coming your way. Beyonce already greenlighted her using the Freedom Song. Camelot is here.
You could tell Kayleigh McEnany was incredibly proud of herself for coming up with that line, but the clowns at Fox News are just the tip of the iceberg.
She's for this country going the way of socialism, maybe even farther than that. There's no way the American people are going to go for that. They're going to have to do a great selling job, and she's going to have to change her tune, but she's not able to do that. She is from California. She believes in that nonsense that they've put that great state of California in.
Joe Biden was the kid that grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, the Irish Catholic kid. Kamala Harris is from San Francisco. She's a San Francisco liberal, a San Francisco radical.
Let me tell you somebody who can't unite this country. That's Kamala Harris. That San Francisco liberal wants to turn the whole country into San Francisco.
Kamala Harris is not a rental. She is owned by the left. She is a product of the left wing of the Democratic Party.
If you seriously believe that Kamala Harris represents American leftists, we have a beautiful bridge to sell you.
She is a committed California left-wing Democrat, and she will be the most radically left president this country would ever have if she were elected. So I think that is really the core of this case. She'll be worse than Biden.
The final line from Rubio says the most. The Republican Party infrastructure is terrified of Harris as a candidate because they were banking on Biden being even more unpopular than Trump to wrangle up swinging independent voters. But now that the race has been turned on its head, they're resorting to classic Red Scare propaganda talking points to smear the Democratic Party, which wouldn't even be considered a left-wing party outside of the states, as the driving force turning the country toward communism. And if that laughably false line of attack doesn't work, the right will always resort to an even more tried-and-true tactic to galvanize support: racism and sexism.
Yeah, and then there's the DEI press secretary telling you that the DEI vice president is the future of the party here. And so the future looks kind of dim for the Democrats here, but this is no shocker either. Kamala Harris, she's the original Haktua girl. That's the way she got where she is. And the party's going downhill if it's in her hands.
That was tough. That was harsh.
Even before Biden dropped out of the race, Fox business clown Alec Lace hit both categories with this gross attack on Harris. As someone whose public image revolves around being a father and commenting on parenting, I wonder how he would react to a pundit saying this on national TV about one of his kids.
And of course, her whole history is DEI, diversity, exclusion, and equity. I mean, inclusion and equity. I mean, what does that tell you? It's totally woke and it's anti-cops, among all the other things, putting the economics aside. More DEI, defund the police, eliminate ICE, never even talk to the chiefs of the Border Patrol. I mean, really? How's she going to stand up to that?
At the end of the day, I don't think they'll go there. I don't think they can. They're in a box. They are in a box where they've got to choose between a mentally incompetent president and a DEI vice president, and they know that they're going to be facing a problem either way.
First off, he said he's going to hire a black female for vice president, and that he just skipped over. What about white females? What about any other group? It just, when you go down that route, you take mediocrity, and that's what they have right now as a vice president.
So are you suggesting she was a DEI hire?
100%. She was a DEI hire. He said he was going to hire, and she didn't. Her record is abysmal at best.
And of course, enemy of the channel and complete sleazebag Tim Burchett, who thinks any form of government spending that helps voters is too woke and offensive, and regularly runs away from reporters, is banking on voters being oblivious and bigoted to look into what DEI hiring initiatives are actually designed to do, creating a more accurate representation of the country in a workforce by giving already qualified people who are candidates of historically underrepresented groups a fair shot at getting said job when they haven't been given that opportunity historically. Thankfully, though, The Republicans seem to have underestimated the intelligence of the American public, because Speaker Mike Johnson and other party leaders are trying to rein in attacks focused on Harris's race and gender.
I am very clear and very consistent about this. I talked with the members this morning. This is an election about competing policies. It's not about personalities. We do very well comparing the records of Kamala Harris and the Biden-Harris administration and the Trump administration. And I think if we do that, we will have an extraordinary November and we'll be able to save the Republic. So that's where it should be.
MAGA Mike can say this all he wants, but there's no reeling in their supreme leader.
And I'd love to be nice, but I'm dealing against real garbage. They weaponize it to go after a political opponent. Now, and she was very much in charge, and she was a prosecutor, but she was a failed prosecutor. She put a lot of people in jail that should have never been there. She put people in jail that were political enemies. She's bad news. She's a radical left, not very smart person.
Mr. President,
she failed her bar exam. She couldn't even pass her bar exam. It was brutal on her. She couldn't pass it. She thought she'd never be able to pass it. This is what we have as our next president.
She shouldn't even be allowed to run for president. What she's done, she's committing crimes. She would be the most radical far-left extremist ever to occupy the White House times 10. There's never been a lunatic like this in the White House. So if you want socialist health care, nation-wrecking inflation, the death of American energy, and a lying radical left liberal San Francisco extremist as your commander-in-chief, then Kamala Harris is your candidate. She's the one for you.
This should tell you all you need to know about how badly the Trump campaign is panicking to message against Harris.
As a senator, Harris was ranked the #1 most left-wing Democrat in the Senate. Think of that. She's ranked the #1. That's not what this country wants. She makes Bernie look like a moderate.
Case in point, Trump has to revive the anti-Bernie sentiment and smear Harris as a leftist because they have nothing outside of bigotry to hit her on. This explains why Trump's campaign is leaning so heavily into immigration and the southern border.
If Border Czar Harris stays in charge, every week will bring a never-ending stream of illegal alien rapists, bloodthirsty killers, and child predators to go after our sons and our daughters. That's what's going to happen. Kamala Harris wants to be the president for savage criminals, illegal aliens. I will be the president for law-abiding Americans of every race, religion, color, and creed. We will form a massive dragnet to scour the nation for the monsters who are murdering and raping children all over the world. Many of them have come here because they're looking for them in their own countries for rape, for murder, for all sorts of things. And we will ship them back to the country from which they came. We're going to get them out of here.
Just think for a second what Trump's plan here would actually consist of. Giving legal authority to law enforcement and the military to round up alleged undocumented immigrants and migrants, concentrate everyone who was arrested in camps, and then send them back to the countries they fled for one reason or another. You don't have to be a history scholar to see the correlation here. But that is what America will become unless the Dems get their act together, listen to the wishes of the voter base, and run an effective campaign against the nightmare that would be a second Trump presidency.